Saturday Night is a laudable and effective exercise in capturing the behind-the-scenes mayhem accompanying the production and execution of the first ever episode of Saturday Night Live. The film is astutely directed by Jason Reitman and features an ensemble cast of little-known actors deftly portraying the well-known and highly visible actors of SNL Season 1, with all of the characters and actors given an equal amount of screen time so as to prevent any one of them from becoming a singular protagonist. Instead, Saturday Night chooses as its protagonist producer Lorne Michaels, who is flatteringly played by Gabriel LaBelle, let me tell you. This decision works as it allows him to act as the film's through point, the vehicle for us as the audience to ground ourselves and attach to as we careen from group to group and person to person. I'm Jason Peters from Esoterica Cinema, and this is Quick Takes with Saturday Night. Now, I actually don't expect Reitman to get a ton of credit for his direction here, but it's absolutely one of the film's strongest aspects. Anytime you have more than 3 people occupying a scene, it can be easily convoluted and increasingly difficult to follow. But in Saturday Night, Reitman has to balance the 7 primary SNL stars alongside Lorne Michaels and his producer and ex-wife Rosie Schuster, very effectively played by Rachel Sennott, and given ample screen time as well, alongside another half-dozen ancillary characters representing everyone from writer and later cast member Al Franken, played by Taylor Gray, to cutthroat producer David Tebbutt, as portrayed by Willem Dafoe, and he's just like everywhere these days, right? To Dick Ebersol, who you're going to remember as Cooper Hoffman, channeling much of his father's Philip Seymour Hoffman's energy, while demonstrating himself as a fine actor in his own right. It has to be said that for all the energy the film brings, most especially through its doppelganger acting ensemble, and the lingering, eavesdropping camera work by director of photography Eric Steelberg, the film does lack a sense of palpable tension. Interestingly, this does appear to be by design. The screenplay from director Jason Reitman, writing alongside creative partner Gil Keenan, who actually picked up the directing duties for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire after Reitman did the previous one, seems to deliberately shy away from the ticking clock mechanism that would typically and organically have a place in a movie like this. As such, the film is an enjoyable comedy, for sure, but it falls short of becoming a grander and more meaningful entertainment expose, as it may have been under a different steward. However, as a result of Reitman's direction, the film effortlessly and breezily saunters from one scene and group of people to the next, to the point that we, the audience, experience the movie as an omniscient presence, dipping in and out of various moments of comedy and drama between the many couplings of different characters. This means that we never become too invested in any one storyline at the expense of another, which is a strong decision that works for this film specifically, but also dictates that we as an audience are only going to be allowed to become so invested in any given character's plight, let alone that of Lorne Michaels. And there is a large part of me that wishes the film were allowed to expand, maybe be about 30 minutes longer, because I do think there's a ton of meat on that bone, and I think it would allow us to get into the minds of the characters a bit better, but this is still very much an enjoyable interpretation. At the end of the day, Saturday Night is a fun film that's easy to like and accessible for most audiences. The film just barely earns its R rating, due mostly to a handful of F-bombs and other creatively unsavory language, but it still falls short of anything you're going to see in the Deadpool movies, which are like actively marketed to 8 and 10-year-olds, right? So I definitely recommend this for families with kids age 13 and up. I will also say that if you haven't yet, watch the first episode of Saturday Night Live ahead of this film. It's available online and will help you place a lot of what you're watching in context and make for an even more enjoyable cinematic experience. I'm giving Saturday Night a solid 4 out of 5 stars with a recommend label, while also acknowledging that you won't miss much by waiting for this one on Blu-ray or streaming at home, if you so choose. I'm Jason Peters. This has been Quick Takes with Saturday Night on Esoterica Cinema. If you enjoyed this quick look of Saturday Night, please consider liking and subscribing for more great film-related content. Thanks so much for watching. Keep on appreciating cinema and enjoy the movies.